In this video, I'm going to show you how you can quickly analyze blockchain transactions using an MPC server. Hi, I'm Ed Zinda, and this is What the Funk. So on this channel, I do basically full stack development. So I do things like back-end, front-end. I deal with AI. I also deal with blockchain, and then whatever tickles my fancy. As some of you may know though, in my day-to-day job, I am a blockchain engineer. I work for a company called Li.Fi, which is a liquidity aggregation service. We basically make it easy for users to swap and transfer assets across different blockchains. If you've ever used a service called jumper.exchange, you've used Li.Fi because it's powered by our smart contracts and our API under the hood. So in my day-to-day work, I'm basically writing new smart contracts and tooling around those smart contracts. Another aspect of my job is analyzing different transactions on the chain to figure out why a transaction may have failed or why a transaction acted in a specific manner. So for example, if something strange has happened that we weren't expecting, one of the backend developers or another BA analyst might come to one of the smart contract engineers and ask us to basically dive into a trace of the transaction to figure out what may or may not have gone wrong. So one way I may do this is go to an explorer like Etherscan right here. Let's just go ahead and find a random transaction. This is a MEV transaction. So this is a bot basically doing a bunch of cool magical stuff on chain to earn itself a bit of money. But let's go ahead and look at this. We can see here that there's a few things going on. And over here you see a bunch of links. I have a Chrome extension installed called MetaSuite. It basically adds these extra links here to some UIs that provide some cool visualizations around transactions, so it's easier to analyze these transactions. And my favorite right here is Falcon. So I'm going to click on Falcon. This opens it up in the Falcon UI. As you can see, the Falcon UI has some visualizations that show where the different funds have gone, which funds, what kind of tokens, etc., how much they're worth. And then down here you have the invocation flow, which is basically just a call trace of your transaction, showing every different call and every different contract that this transaction has touched. In my day-to-day work, I may just go through the stack trace and figure out, okay, where did the funds go to, which tokens were transferred, how many were transferred, which events were emitted, etc. And as you can see, if this kind of call trace gets big, it can be pretty tedious to analyze what exactly is going on. UIs like this make it a lot easier for us, but still it's a manual process and it's still a tedious process. So now that you know how I would normally do this, I'm going to show you a new tool that I've created that can help with this by leveraging the power of LLMs and their ability to look at structured data like this and then answer questions about that data. So let's go ahead and check that out now. So I'm in my terminal in an empty directory. I just called it Claude Playground because I'm not actually going to be editing any code. I'm just going to start up Claude real quick, and then I'm going to run this /MCP command. As you can see, I have two MCP servers installed. One is Firecrawl, which I use to basically fetch websites, and then this Falcon MCP server that I've just built. And what I'm going to do is ask Claude to analyze a transaction as if I was doing the transaction analysis, going through the trace and then figuring out what's going on. So let's go ahead and ask Claude that. So here is the hash. Can you give me a detailed summary of this transaction on Ethereum? And let's see what happens. So Claude understands that it needs to use this Falcon MCP server, and there is a tool part of this MCP server called Transaction Overview. And so it's going to use this and ask me if I want to use it. I'm going to say yes and don't ask again. And so it went ahead and fetched a bunch of stuff. Under the hood, the MCP server is actually calling the Block SEC Falcon API and then returning a bunch of JSON information about the transaction that I asked about. All right, let's go ahead and see what Claude has to say. It says this represents a cross-chain token transfer operation using the Li.Fi platform. And here's the breakdown. So somebody swapped 72.47 Matic tokens, and then they received USDT tokens. So like 13.16. Oh, so they swapped the Matic into USDT and then the USDT into USDC. So the final amount was 13.6 USDC tokens. It also tells you the function that was called on the Li.Fi smart contract. Let's see. And so it used Uniswap to do the swaps. Let's go ahead and ask it something else. How much gas was used in this transaction? So it already has all the information, so it didn't need to fetch anything. And yeah, it looks like we used 350,000 gas. What else can we ask it? Let's ask which call used the most gas. So there was a process route function call that used the most gas. And yeah, so that was part of the swap process. What else? All right, let's ask how much slippage was set. All right, looks like the approximate slippage was about 0.5%. And if you don't understand what slippage is, basically when you get a quote for a swap of one token to another, basically from the time that you get the quote and the time that you decide to actually execute that quote, or if you've submitted the quote, it may take a little bit of time to actually be set on chain. The price may or may not change in between those times. So slippage is basically a threshold that you set saying that if the price goes in one or two directions a certain amount, it's okay to execute the swap. If it goes a little too high, then you don't execute the swap because you don't want to lose out basically from the price that you were quoted originally. All right, so I'm going to try one more transaction. So let's clear this out. So I've got another transaction hash, and this transaction actually failed. So let's figure out if Claude can understand what happened and maybe give some clarifying information around that. Here we get back the description of the transaction. Looks like it failed with an error transfer from failed. Gives the block number. There was a transaction fee that was paid, unfortunately, even though it failed. And then it tries to figure out what else went wrong with this transaction. Then it just gives a brief summary of why it failed or why it could have failed. And so that's about it for how it works. Let's go ahead and dive in a bit to the code so you can see what is available and how it works under the hood. So here's the repo up on GitHub. It's an MCP server and it uses the Falcon API under the hood, written in Go using the MCP Go SDK that I built. And if you're curious about that, you can watch one of my previous videos about the subject. But let's go ahead and look at which tools are actually provided with this server. So we have a basic trace tool, and that gives you basically a JSON representation of the call trace that you saw in the Falcon UI before. It's got a profile tool, and that gives some information about the transaction. So the from, the value. It also gives a flow of funds, and then some information about the tokens that may or may not have been exchanged. There's an address label tool. So rather than have these hex addresses that aren't really meaningful to humans, the Block SEC API actually gives back some labels to attach to these addresses. So this will help Claude or any other LLM be able to parse these and basically show you that, hey, this was a Uniswap address, hey, this was a Li.Fi address, etc. And then there's a balance change tool, which shows you the different balances that can change within the addresses that are involved in the transaction, as well as state change. So you can see which variables changed during the lifetime of the transaction. And then we have a transaction overview, which basically will call all of these other tools in parallel and then aggregate the entire result and return that to the LLM. So the LLM doesn't have to make a bunch of tool calls. It can actually just call this transaction overview tool, which will give it everything at once. But if you ask for something specific, the LLM will know it can call just maybe one of these different tools and just get the specific information that way. And then there's a get chain ID by name tool, which is just a utility tool. And basically, because all these other tools rely on a chain ID, which is a number, this allows you to say, hey, I want to check Ethereum, or I want to check Polygon or Base or Berachain, etc. and this will look up the chain by that name and then allow the LLM to give a tool call with the correct chain ID. And we can briefly look at the code. Most of the code is in this serve.go command. And here you can see I've just defined all the different tools with descriptions and then with the arguments that are required. And then down here, I've got this, the SDK has this add tool function, which will add a tool and its description and then bind it to a handler. And all the handler functions are basically, all the handler functions are down here, and they will call the Block SEC API with the specific endpoint. And so it's very basic. It's not too complicated. It's essentially just a wrapper around an API, but it's presented in a way that something like Claude Code or Claude Desktop or Cursor can just pull in easily, and you can just ask it questions very naturally and get some very quick and detailed answers without having to manually trace through a call trace and figure out what's going on. So if you want to use this tool, it's available on GitHub. There's also a Docker image. You can basically have a look at the README. It'll show you how to set it up with Claude Desktop using the executable, which can be downloaded through the releases over here. Or if you just want to use Docker, which I recommend because it's much easier, it shows you how to do that as well in the README. And that's it. That's how you can easily analyze blockchain transactions using this simple MCP server. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.